Hello, I'm Dov Zakheim. I used to be Undersecretary of Defense, but more important, at least for now, I am chair of the advisory board of this journal, the Jerusalem Strategic Tribune. The JST, as we call it, has emerged on the scene in an explosive way. We have the top analysts from around the world who contribute on a daily basis. You can see their website, and also, of course, the journal that I just held up. But we also have regular breakfasts where we bring in top speakers to address a group of prominent individuals. We had one like that this morning. We had Professor Eliot Cohen, who for many years was a professor at Johns Hopkins SAIS, one of the leading military historians, not just in the United States, but perhaps in the world. In our audience was General Jim Jones, the former National Security Advisor and the former Supreme Allied Commander Europe. We had the Ambassador of Estonia. We had the Ambassador of Finland. And a lot of other prominent individuals. As I say, this is not the first breakfast we've had. We've had other prominent individuals, members of Congress, for example, administration officials, and it all fits in with the objective of this Jerusalem Strategic Tribune and Radio and TV Abraham, which is to have a more comprehensive and understanding, not just of the Middle East, but of America's relations with the Middle East. And I think this morning demonstrated how successful that could be.
I think, we have been making one mistake after another and thinking that Iran would somehow be a country that under the current theocracy that would actually come to the table and agree to do things that they'd actually carry out, and that's been proven wrong time after time. So I support the current activity, even though it's hard to predict what exactly the end will be.
We obviously are at war with Iran right now, so that's clearly a threat. And some people think, well, their nuclear program wouldn't really threaten us. Well, first of all, it threatens our allies. They showed us that. They were able to fire a missile at Diego Garcia, where we have aircraft, and that's about as far away from Iran as London, Paris, Rome. So Europe's threatened. So that, and they're our allies. They're our NATO allies, and it's just a matter of time if we let this go on that they'd be able to hit us.
But I think the administration is doing the right thing, and while it's a little bit, it's not yet the time to be able to predict exactly how this is going to end. But if it ends favorably, I think it will change much of the way the world operates on a daily basis to include not only peace and security, but economic prosperity and free trade and so on and so forth.
By the way, Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran, they're working together. And they're working together against us. And they're already attacking us through the cybersphere. They attack companies. They try to attack infrastructure. So we have threats that are very much here at home coming from abroad.
I think the administration has been exactly correct in its activities in our own hemisphere, which we've ignored for way too long, in my view. That's another thing that I think one administration after the other, both Democratic and Republican, have not paid attention to our own hemisphere. And I'm glad to see this one finally is doing that, because that's very important.
Well, this whole idea that somehow Israel dragged us into it, Prime Minister Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, has been pushing this line for 20 years. And George Bush didn't get into it. Obama wouldn't. Biden wouldn't. And even Mr. Trump didn't. So you got to ask yourself, why now? And there are a number of reasons. First of all, and we heard this, we had a meeting this morning of the Jerusalem Strategic Tribune group with Professor Eliot Cohen, and he pointed out, the Iranians tried to kill Mr. Trump. And if somebody's tried to kill you, you're not exactly going to be friendly to them.
National and international security is more than just about armies and navies and air forces. There is a role for the military to play. It's always kind of the last straw that has to be played. But things like energy, science, AI, the economic aspect of the conflicts that we're in are extremely important. So science and technology is important, innovation is important, and the President of the United States, when he sits in the Situation Room with his cabinet, is actually transitioning from the old way of doing things, where the national security was just about the Defense Department, the National Security Council, and a little bit of the State Department. Now it's a whole of government operation, and that's the way we should look at it for the future.
Frankly, if we can maintain or take the lead on AI and work with our friends and allies who are also into AI, maybe we can set standards that make it more difficult for the bad guys, particularly the Chinese, to do what they're doing. Are we going to stop them? No. But can we limit them? Maybe.
And I think the African continent also, in countries like Libya and others, we should be able to do things simultaneously. We're big enough, we're powerful enough, we're wealthy enough to do not just one big problem at a time. I think we can do multiple things, and I think we're showing that now.
Well, I certainly look forward to our next breakfast meeting. We will once again have a very prominent speaker and a very prominent audience. And I certainly recommend that you look at the Jerusalem Strategic Tribune website, as well as tune in to Radio Abraham and TV Abraham.